Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Crystal. I've been back from a walk for about an hour or so. So I went out with Max earlier on, and it was getting dark. It wasn't dark as such. It was getting dark, and I think I left about 7:30. So I'm a woman. I live by myself. I look after myself, and obviously, as I've got safety issues and harassment and stalking problems going on, I have to take extra precautions when it's dark. So I carry obviously a torch, I carry a personal alarm, like a rape alarm, and I just carry a spray. Now, what usually happens in the dark is people let their dogs off, especially on the field, and you can't see where the owner is. Sometimes these dogs have got flashing collars on them and they're darting all over the fields, but you can't see the owner. So obviously when it's dark and I'm on my own, I have to make sure I've got a phone charged up as well in case I need to call the police or somebody for help. I've had conversations with people telling me, why can't get someone to walk around the field with you, but it's not as easy as that, because my family is located all over the place and someone can't just come down and walk around the field with me. So I do try and get out before it gets dark, but today I got held up doing something and I went out about 7:30, and that's obviously the sun goes down before then, so it was just starting to get dark very quickly. So I went out the front door with Max, went downstairs, and I went out the back way and I went straight up towards the Co-op and Costa Coffee. And as I was turning round the Rochester Riverside office at the top, there's a flickery security light. Nothing gets repaired around here. We've still got a leak that's been leaking on the floor for over a week. There's two flickery security lights and it keeps flashing on and off, so I walked past them, and as I was walking down the road, a dog started barking at me in someone's car. So you're just a joke to these people. It won't stop. This humiliation and punishment they keep putting me through on a daily basis, it just won't stop. They get entertainment out of it. That is why I must not react, get cross, or do anything. Just, I have to stand still and put up with every little thing these crappy people do to get a tiny bit of reaction out of somebody. And I'm running on empty. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm fed up with it. I want some help and support. I want some counselling for being abused as a child. I don't want this bollocks. I don't know what it is. Every single day, every time I go out of my flat, these things happen. The things that are illegal, that are against the law, on TV they're not illegal. Obviously, if they're doing something for television, it's not illegal, is it? But the dog started barking. That's all I needed. But I just held my head up high, walked past it, and I walked onto the field. Yeah, I just walked onto the field, and there was nobody on there at all. And I thought, let's listen to some music, right? So I put Ollie Murs on loudspeaker because I've got damage to my ear and I can't put earphones into my ear because the sound affects this ear. So I put it on loudspeaker, but not loud so it's blaring out and blasting, just so that I can hear it. And also it blocks out irritating people speaking loud, trying to block you out. It blocks the noise out for me, just trying, and distracts me from what people are doing. and saying. So I had that Ollie Murs song called Save Me. I put that on, started listening to it, and it distracts me from what's going on, and it also soothes and helps me keep sane. So I started listening to Ollie Murs, and it was starting to get dark. It wasn't exceptionally dark to start with. It started getting dark when I was on my way back home. So I was walking in the dark with Ollie Murs' Save Me on. I love that song. Ollie Murs is a great singer. I think he's fantastic. I used to love his songs at my old flat, Troublemaker. I've always been a fan of Ollie Murs's. So I was listening to that, going around the fields, and it was when I started to come off, I noticed 2 loose dogs with collars on, but the owner had them under control, so that was fine. But that is my worry when it gets dark, that you're going to get jumped on in the dark by dogs, because it's happened to me before. It was a group of women leaving their dogs to run about, and they didn't even apologise or say sorry. And that really annoys me as well. If a dog jumps on you and the owner says I'm sorry, then that takes a bit of it away, and you feel a bit better. But when someone lets dogs jump on you and they ridicule and start laughing and just leave it, it's not very nice at all. But fortunately these dogs ran back to their owner and went away. And then I just walked home, and it was busy. People had things in their hands. They were coming off from the railway station. There was people like everywhere, but I didn't get cross or anything, because they think by taking the piss out of you, by mocking you, by doing all these things, you're going to do something terrible and get into trouble with the police. Because that's what gang stalkers like to do. They like to harass, make you so exhausted and tired you do something stupid and end up in a prison cell. Or like I said before, you feel like your life isn't worth living, and that's it. But I love life. I love getting up in the morning, whether there's noise or not. I love the church, the cathedral bells ringing. I've got everything to live for. I would never end my own life, never, whatever I was going through. And also, these idiots that keep making noise and trying to disrupt my life, you've got to understand, they're keeping themselves awake. So the idiots are keeping their children awake, getting their children to do all this. Their kids are suffering. So if you've got kids running around at all hours of the morning, these kids are going to school sleepy. Do you know what I mean? So they're harming their own selves and their own kids, which is ridiculous. They're punishing their own self, because at the end of the day, I'll just fall asleep anyway. Whatever they're doing, I'll fall asleep. Eventually, but I'll fall asleep. I've actually gone to bed when they've been full pelt running across my ceiling. I've gone to bed, I've put 3 applications on, 2 fans, and I've put the duvet over my head, and I've just gone to bed while they've been running across the ceiling. And then they just spend all night wearing themselves out. Which is, that if that's what they want to do to themselves, that's what they can do. But I am not being forced out of my home by bullies. I'm not being forced out to move out of my place because of a couple of bullies. If they don't like it, why don't they move out? Why don't they move? And this Catherine, she said, why don't you do a home swap? I said, well, that's not going to do any good, is it? Because the poor person that moves into this flat is going to get I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. If someone had told me this place wasn't soundproof, I wouldn't have taken it. I'm not going to let somebody else suffer. yeah, so they want you to do something stupid, and I don't steal. However hard it gets, I wouldn't steal. The only time that I would steal to eat was if I had nothing in the cupboard and no money, because I ain't gonna starve to death for no fucker. I said I ain't gonna starve to death for no fucker. Yes, I would rob if I was hungry. I would steal if I was starving and I had nothing in the cupboard and nobody would help me get any food. Of course I would steal. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but if you're hungry and you've got no food, and you're going to die if you don't eat. And in certain circumstances, it's getting this way in Great Britain. People in this country are starving and living in tents. But no, I'm not going to starve for nobody. So when they're all going around stuffing their faces, laughing at me, I must have food in the cupboard. Otherwise, I ain't going to starve to death. So they make my life a misery. They take the mickey, and then they leave something out, like you're going to pinch it. Parcels, letters, packages. They leave bags with stuff hanging about, and it's a trap. It's a trap because the boxes and all the things they leave out are underneath cameras, and of course they're just waiting for you to touch it, so they pounce on you. I don't steal. I just get on with my life. If I haven't got it, I haven't got it. I go without. If I can't afford it, if I get to a checkout and I haven't got enough money, I put the item back. I won't steal it. So I haven't got a guilty conscience. I haven't. I have not got a guilty conscience. So I said that I was at my wit's end. I've tried to get counselling. They've mucked about with that. They've turned that into a farce and a comedy. I've tried to get help and support with this harassment. They keep getting women to ring me up on the phone and take the piss out of what I've written and said. And then, you know what I mean? You're going to get angry. If someone belittles you and takes the piss out of you, are you going to sit on the phone and take it? The best thing to do is put the phone down. I would say if someone is taking the piss and trying to get a reaction and record you getting cross, put the bloody phone down. And that's what I did. I put the phone down on them, trying to record me and saying things to try and get me to react to it. I've got every right to stick up for myself. I'm not going to sit there and take what they're saying. And on the other hand, I'm going to stand my ground, but I'm not going to swear at them. I'm not going to swear. I'm just going to stand my ground and say I don't agree with what you're saying, and you can record my voice. Anyone that heard what I said to that woman the other day would realise that I'm a positive woman, a strong woman, and I'm not going to take no bullshit. So what I'm finding now is the doctors are useless. They're telling me to ring 999, go to hospital if you feel depressed, ring the Samaritans, crisis numbers. I was given the number for this talking therapies, and they're no use. So someone said to me, go back to your doctor and ask them to refer you somewhere else. So this lady is going to call me in October and ask me how I am. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with due respect, that they've given me so much fucking pressure, so much lies and bullshit. The noise is still going on upstairs, and the crap and the bullying, and the police are not doing anything. So they're trying to put me under so much stress that they probably didn't think I would be here by the 8th of October. They probably thought they'd got rid of the problem. Oh, and by the way, I saw a Royal Mail van when I came out of the block of flats. Royal Mail, 7:30 at night, delivering a parcel for Tracy, and my name is Crystal, it's not Tracy. And we're still remembering Tracy Jenkins, who said things about me on TikTok. And I still haven't got the screenshots of those awful things that were said about me. So the Royal Mail was delivering a parcel to Tracy as I was coming out of my flat this evening at 7:30 p.m. My name is not Tracy. I am not in a wheelchair. So do you see what they do? Keep parking outside Tracy's flat. Tracy said nasty things about me, so they park outside Tracy's flat. There's parcels for Tracy. And the Tracy said that she wanted to give a food parcel to my mother Jennifer. And my mother Jennifer does not live with me, she lives in Chatham. So they want to give a parcel to my mother Jennifer, but they're not giving a parcel to my mother Jennifer. They're giving parcels to Tracy. So what I was told was, a couple of weeks ago now, that Tracy Jenkins off of TikTok was telling members of my family that I was an awful person, and could they have my mother's address? They wanted to send her a food parcel. But they're hovering around my address, giving parcels to Tracy and parcels to the opposite flats. And I'm not Jennifer, I'm Crystal. I would love to see what they wrote about me, because I'd roast their ass. First of all, it's been reported to the police. I need these messages to back up what I'm saying, but the person involved is not giving me them. So therefore, I don't know if it's true. Obviously, the person is a bit mentally unstable. Because why would you want to give a parcel to my mother when you don't know her? I told my mum about it and she started laughing. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on, but it's me that's ended up in financial difficulty, not my mum. And this is ridiculous. It's just cruel and nasty. The person is a narcissistic pig. They're mentally ill, and they've attached themselves to me like a dirty slug. I obviously don't want them. I don't want the foul attention from them or their stench near me. I don't know what they think they're doing, but they need help. They're just a vile, disgusting, narcissistic human being that thinks the world revolves around them and it fucking doesn't. And they need to get a life and get a grip and attach themselves to a giant poo stick, and they might feel better about themselves. Because the poo stick is what they resemble. And what they smell like by the sound of it and smell of it. It's ridiculous. You know, their whole life revolves around annoying and upsetting me. It's a sad fucking life, it really is. They need they need a straitjacket. They're obviously unhinged. Going down my TikTok, going down my Facebook, going down my Instagram, going down my YouTube. And they can't wait to see me to cause trouble and make my life a misery. And if they come up with a bunch of flowers and fucking, oh, can we have a go on your YouTube and blow up balloons with you? Oh no. They want to ruin my life, spread rumours and fucking dance on the ceiling with their clobhopper boots. What is it about this Tracy? The Tracy that they keep parking outside is in a wheelchair. She's disabled. She's got a bald head and she wears a wig. So, I mean, they're fascinated with that woman downstairs. Yeah, we know what you're doing, mate. And you're going to come unstuck. You're going to get caught. And when you get caught, everyone will laugh at you because you're pathetic. You're pathetic. You're thick. You obviously can't attract women because you're on your own. Annoying me, and I don't want you either. See you later.